Joining me now to discuss is Mike Howell. He's a Heritage Foundation Senior Advisor for Government Relations and former DHS Oversight Counsel. Good to see you, Mike. First of all, the supposition on her part that it's somehow more humane to have a policy that allows for thousands of unaccompanied children to come across a very dangerous border, that doesn't seem very humane to me. Does it to you?
No, it is not humane at all. I mean, what occurs on the journey from their home countries to here is unspeakable. I won't even get into the details, but it is just terrible conditions that would terrify anyone if they really knew how bad it was. And when you put on the green light, like the Biden campaign transition, now administration has to the south of the border that says, come, we'll let you in, they're going to come in massive amounts. What we have on the border right now is a crisis, a calamity. It's catastrophic. But for the Biden administration, it's their plan. This is all by design. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that if you end all security measures, you tell law enforcement to stand down, you tell everyone in the south of the border that we're going to give you amnesty if you get in, they're going to come in record numbers, and record numbers, they're coming. January or February, over 100K. That's the most in about 2 decades. We're on track for well over 100,000 unaccompanied minors this year. Over 100,000. That's about the minor population of D.C. Right. We're basically importing major U.S. city populations worth of people to come into the U.S. in the middle of a global pandemic.
By the way, that is just overwhelming the Border Patrol to have that many. That's 3 times the amount of encounters that our Border Patrol had with illegals last February. So a 3-fold increase. And this is just the beginning of the season when they begin to come in greater numbers. But once not only the adults, but particularly the kids, once they do come in, the question is what to do with them. We just got new numbers from HHS. 8,500 kids are now being held in HHS shelters. These are shelters that during the previous administration, the media and Democrats were saying is putting kids in cages. So, I mean, that's, they may have may make the case that these aren't cages, but the fact is that they're being held there. It's a huge number, and I just wonder if that's going to grow.
It absolutely is. There's no reason for it not to. The only way this crisis can start to get tamped down is for the Biden administration to do what is politically very difficult for them to do. That is to admit it is their policies that are driving it. There needs to be
we essentially had that. I mean, we had Ms. Jacobson, Ambassador Jacobson, yesterday admit that it was their policies that were causing the surge.
Well, it's one thing to admit it. It's another thing to change the policy itself. It needs to be said loud and clear. If you come here illegally, you will be quickly removed and returned to your home country. There will be no amnesty for anyone. That's the only way people are going to stop coming, when they know they can't get in. And just releasing people at the border into the interior as fast as possible, all that does is guarantee that those people will stay. It is unlikely that they're ever going to be removed. Most people do not show up to their hearings for removal.
Of course not.
And ICE is shut down right now, so ICE can't even remove anyone.
But, they're claiming that there are vast numbers greater of people that are sent back, immigrants that are sent back home than there are who make it in. Is that really true?
I don't think that it's true at all in terms of the overall numbers. Most, especially the folks in the HHS custody you were talking about, they're here to stay. Anyone who is caught and released into the interior is not showing up for their hearing by and large. Look at this over the years. We have about 1 million illegal aliens on average each year. We don't remove but a fraction of that. If you just do the math, it adds up year after year after year. If you get into the country, you're most likely here to stay.
And by the way, that 11 million figure that we've heard for the past dozen years, how much do you think it really is in the United States right now?
I don't think anyone has the slightest clue what it actually is. And there's a reason, because every time there's been an attempt to count, liberals have stopped it, whether it's including it in the census or arriving at any legitimate estimation through the government, because they don't want people to know the truth of how bad the problem is. Some people say it could be high as 20 million.
Right. I've heard even higher than that. Mike Howell, good to see you, my friend. Thank you very much for coming in. Appreciate it.